Guru Kripa Kevalam. Namaste everyone. Very warm welcome to Satsang today. Sadhguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai. Between me and you, that you have destroyed the capability to believe the next thought. You effortlessly don't believe the next thought. But I have to make an effort for not believing the next thought. Yes, seemingly this is the only seeming difference. Not substantively, but in the world play. That's something that seems more effortless here, seems less effortless or more effortful at a certain point in our life. And it's getting easier for all of you. But it is these Donkey Kong moments which get you more. You know these some of you don't know this example. Growing up, I used to play this small video game called Donkey Kong. In that, there were two types of obstacles that Mario had to cross to rescue the princess or whatever he was rescuing. But Kong would throw either coconuts or barrels. So initial level only barrels would be coming and you just jump. Jump. Then as levels grow, then you have coconuts and barrels. You see, what are these coconuts? Worldly events, and when the thoughts come about those, but this is definitely this. You see, how can he say, I don't know what it is, I know what this is? So when it's with some strong emotion, anger, lust, greed, frustration, bliss, all of these, when interpretations are so much about these coconuts, you see, then it can feel like this is really true. It is like this. Because it seems like the objects in our perception are so much in resonance with our interpretation of them. You see? And we keep then gathering evidence. No, see, it is like this. It is like this. And then some other event happens. No, it is. You see? So we keep gathering this circumstantial evidence to make the claim that this is how it is. You see? And there is nothing, and as I've been saying, there is nothing inherently something like that. You see? I was taking this example that we are in Satsang here on a very busy road. Now, sometimes when these ambulances, they come and they go, because we want to be in silence, we want to be in a particular state, we think we know what is best for us, then we say, oh, that ambulance siren should be not so much, it should be less noisy, you see, this kind of thing. Now, we are wishing that it goes away, but the ones who are inside the ambulance are probably hoping that the volume could be even louder so that people could move faster, you see. So it in itself is neither here nor there. It is our judgments which make us seem like, you see, we are open to something or we are closed about it. It's our interpretation about things, you see, which makes the difference. You see. So, yes, the only seeming or apparent difference between a master, teacher, and a disciple is that the master is naturally remaining in the unborn, you see, whereas for the disciple it seems like it's an effort, a struggle. But this becomes more and more natural. And then these apparent distinction between master and teacher also dissolve, because ultimately these are also just notions, just concepts. I got a report yesterday saying that you were asking about the concept I really believe is true. You see, when we were playing the game, and I said, I will just say it's just a thought. So they said, then I would say Guru Kripa Kevalam. Is that just a thought? I said, of course, it's just a thought. It's just another concept. You see? But seemingly in this place, some concept, and all depends on our existing conditioning, you see. Some concepts can play the role of burning others, and some concepts just seem to lead to more and more conceptual picking up. You see? So concepts like who am I, Guru Kripa Kevalam, play the role of burning the rest. For many. Many can also conceptualize a lot about even this. You can start working on a thesis of who I am. Look at the history of humanity and start making conclusions that this is what I must be, you see. But for many it can work like this, that you question, who am I? And it dissolves these other notions, these other concepts which we may be holding. Maybe she can sit outside for a bit. Nobody is able to pay attention, I guess. You can come back as soon as you can. I know, it's not easy, but it's okay. Good satsang. So these concepts, which actually play the role of burning up everything else, is part of the point of coming to satsang. Satsang is not that we can build a new spiritual dictionary for ourselves. Rather, it's a great forgetting. So in this great forgetting, what are we still clinging on to? If I said forget about it, what would feel like an attack? To what if I said forget about it? Would it feel like an attack? Nothing?
The tendency to learn something.
Give me an example, like
Like I have to learn, I must listen, there's something I don't know yet. So that person keeps going back, it's not done yet.
it's not done yet, I have to listen, I have to learn, I have to get this in a way. And I said forget about it.
No,
Doll Mary? Sorry, disturb you, sir. Doll Mary?
कौन?
Doll Mary?
Who's that?
F3 में रहता है कोई?
आत्मा डॉल।
ओके, वो कोई आया इन्वेस्टिगेशन के लिए।
anybody suffering and you say forget about it, it's very hard to disregard. Help.
No, I don't know. If you had a concept that, give me an example of that, not what is apparently perceived anyway, but let's take this particular example. If you are speaking of something like this, about just what is happening with her, which is so some would see it as great auspiciousness, and some would see it as suffering. Now both would find very difficult to come to an overlap about that, you see? Because to our doctor conditioning it might seem so apparent that this is conditioning, you see? And some who are in a way trying to even get these experiences feel like, wow, this is what needs to happen here, you see, or something like that. So again, it's a question of perspective. So can we really be certain that this is how it is, or this is how something is? And when the master is saying, let go of your notion that you know what something is. That can seem a bit strange. You see. Even ultimately the notion of suffering itself. What is it actually suffering? Is it just pain that we're calling suffering?
Uncomfortable feelings, which may be like she was holding her hand and helping her to maybe relieve that.
Yeah. Yeah. What do we define suffering to be?
Where you cannot be comfortable or at peace.
Not at ease. So is like pain?
Yeah, painful, uncomfortable.
Yeah. Because pain and pleasure is a part of this waking experience. But suffering is what we call as pain or this discomfort mixed with our ideas about it. Suffering is perpetuates because of the notions we have, especially the notion that this should not be. So that's why they say that pain is inevitable, but suffering isn't.
Your reaction.
Yeah?
It's how you react to.
Yeah, in a way, how you interpret it to be, what you think it is. So suffering is always mixed with interpretation, with judgment. Pain just in itself is just a perception, you see. And in your openness, in your beingness, there is more than enough space to have this experience, you see? Or the opposite of it. So pain and pleasure can be both tasted as far as anything can be phenomenally experienced in this realm. You see? So, and maybe we've spoken about this before, where we've looked at this, and even doctors have done this study, like pain met with openness and acceptance seems much easier to manage, and it seems like the medication required for even those patients, you see, it goes down drastically versus pain which is like resisted and pain which is fought. You see? So this is again not about the outward activity. Of course, if some medication is needed, it's fine. If some other remedy is needed, it's fine. And I'm saying more, the extent to which it becomes suffering is dependent on how much we are resisting it or fighting it. You see. So, of course, it's not a statement saying that there can be pain. You see, like there was big pain in my ribs a few weeks ago. So it's not a statement that, oh, there can be pain, but it's just fine. Let's dance. It's not like that. So it's just that it's just accepted for what it is. There are these sensations being experienced. But when we start mixing it with why me, how come it always happens, why am I not this way or that way, You see? Or why is God so unkind to me? This kind of thing. Then that becomes more like suffering, as we could
Or what can I do to help? If you feel that strongly motivated to
yeah.
do something.
Yeah. From a space of openness, then help can come. Really, help can come. It is not that necessarily the best help comes when we take the position I'm going to help. You see? I'm not saying that if this unfolding is happening of help, you see, then we must say, no, I'm taking a position, because that is also a position. I'm not asserting either side of it. You see? I'm saying that from our openness, from our emptiness, all that is required can flow through us. In fact, does flow through us. In fact, I'm saying something more than that. I'm saying that irrespective of the positions that we take, you see, what has to unfold in this realm does unfold anyway.
So when you say forget about it, you mean forget about your reaction to it?
No, forget about your notion that you are right about something. You see, forget about your conclusion. And does not mean that the opposite is true. It's not saying help, now make that don't help. You see, forget about that also. Remain empty of either position and see what naturally unfolds. For the mind, this is crazy territory, because the mind can only understand this or that. So then, should I help or should I not help? You see? But your truer space is broader than that. You see? It is not so binary. Your life is not so constricted in these opposites. It is not caught up in these binaries of 0 and 1. This feeling that I have to rest on a conclusion. That I will, one way or the other, know what this means, what anything means. That is the root of our conditioning. And we start looking and we say, what do I actually really know? And we don't even know the very basics, the basic fundamentals. We don't even know whether this is a waking state. Really, do we know? Is it, or what waking is, or who wakes up? We don't actually know whether this is just a video game. If you want a fancier term, simulation. There's a big movement out there called simulation theory. All of this is just some computer simulation. So we don't know. So what do we actually know? If you don't even know whether this is a video game, Maya, no contemporary term for Maya in a way, is it? Or it has some substance. Is it? Then what is it that we actually know? Now we heard in Satsang, and we also then taken it on. So many of you might say, all that I know is that I am. Is it? But do you actually know even that?
Passing notion.
It's also passing motion.
Sometimes it's very firm, sure, I am this.
Uh,
I'm not so sure.
it's sometimes very sure, sometimes not so sure, means that we are not. It is also just a notion. You see? So what is it that we actually can conclude?
It's very paradoxical, isn't it, in a way? Because you're saying that I may not exist at all in the sense which I think. And then the same me is being asked to leave it or forget about it, or that same me has come to find out who I truly am. And this confusion can be, it feels like very unnerving or frustrating or whatever. But
So everything that you say unnerving and frustrating, if I was to say auspicious.
Yeah, but then that same logical mind wants to say auspicious for who? I mean,
Unnerving for who?
either way, right? That's what I'm saying. Either
That's what I'm
way,
saying.
yeah.
That
So
either end of the position,
yeah,
either end of the spectrum. You see? All of these are just words.
but in the same report, there is still something which feels.
I'm saying that even what you're saying, even what is being spoken from here is just words.
Yeah.
You see? Now, if you did not know any of these, what any of these words meant, then how is it? The mind will come up with words again and say, but that is dumb, or but that is stupid, or that's a vegetable.
No,
Maybe
it's
for
not.
example. You see? But those are also just words. Now, without those also,
That's what is the paradox, because without those words also
Yeah.
where you're leading us to questioning and letting go, somehow it's feeling better, you know, in some way it feels nicer somehow. And
so what's the paradox?
that there's this both is going on like two forces.
So one is,
that frustration and kind of thing,
Yeah.
where I'm confused, I don't know, he's talking nonsense, sometimes he says do this, sometimes he says do the other thing,
yeah,
right? So that's one.
yeah,
But in the doing of it, or in at least the attempt to do it or
Yeah.
forget about it or whatever, there just comes quietening,
a
peacefulness
stillness
also.
or a
Yeah.
peace or a feeling.
Yeah.
So this is the paradox between the
Yeah.
frustration.
Like that, like, so
Which of these applies to you?
no, I do, it's just, I'm trying to be smart, but, I mean, in the sense, which of these applies to me? And
Are you in the between the opposite stuck? Frustration, peace, frustration, peace. It's like a tennis match.
no, it feels like if I'm there, then I'm fully immersed there. At least then I use but that's just another thought and that falls. And then again there's this, which is,
Yeah.
this-
So which of these then truly we can say for certain?
I can't say for if I say it, then again it feels like a thought which I'm
Yeah,
saying.
but inwardly are you that open, or inwardly you're believing, but outwardly you can't say?
No, I mean, the like I said, when I'm not, it feels nicer to be this peaceful, happy. It feels, meaning it feels more, now feels much more natural, and to not be like that fuzzy, that questioning that feels less natural now.
So you're sure you're stuck between completely natural and feeling less natural?
No, I'm not sure really, actually.
You see? Because we make these paradigms and then we have to live up to them, that now I'm more natural, now I'm less natural, you see? What really applies to you? That you know for certain, this really applies to me.
I believe it, yes.
Yeah, with belief you can believe anything. So that is how it doesn't apply. You see, when you check, what do you find? What truly applies to you upon checking?
having experiences. That's what that is.
I'm having experiences.
That's the only description. There are
I
yes.
is which one? So I'm taking I am having experiences and just looking at it word by word. So I is which one having experiences? Okay, let's go to the next one. Am means what? Am?
The only word I can say is here.
Here means? Here is the opposite of there? You're not there, you're just here. Is it like that? Where are you? Where is your boundary? Tell me where you are and where you are not.
Something doesn't want to. The sentence was funny though, but it was.
Yeah,
It
what?
doesn't want to believe
I want to believe.
that I am this and this space. This.
Doesn't want to believe that you are the space. See my idea? What is it? Don't feel diffident. What is
I'm combining 2-3 concepts at the same time.
Yeah, every
Space.
sentence is that. That's okay. No concept has ever lived on its own. Always combining. So you said that only thing I can say with some certainty is that I am here. You see?
Yes.
Now we looked at I, we looked at am, now we are looking at here.
Yes.
What does here mean? Here is apparently the opposite of there.
Yeah, it had to have a reference.
You see? Here as a reference. What reference is that?
Had to refer to me, but when I looked for me, I had to look for there and here.
Yeah.
So I looked for space.
Yeah.
So I looked for this room and all the things I can see with my
Yes.
eyes,
Yeah.
and the voice, the sounds coming out of my mouth.
Yeah. Did you find yourself there?
No, I had
Or
to
did you
see-
not find yourself there? Either way. You looked at the sound. This is good. Sound coming out of your mouth. Are you there or you are not there?
Every sentence I'm constructing or concept I'm trying to put together, it seems incomplete.
Yes. Is that complete? In a way, you might say now he's just trying to confuse us or confound us. And in a way, that is true. You see? In a way, in this movement towards dropping your certainties, you see, those things which you're so certain about that even the concept I am here, you see, when investigated, does it hold any good? When inquired for even 2 minutes, you can't find one element of truth in this I am here, just 3 words. I we can't find in that way. The I which could be here or there, spatially or locally in any way, that is definitely not found. Is it?
Something is still trying to reconcile my concept of you and me.
Yeah.
In
What is you and me? How is it different from A and B? That reminded me of it's a beautiful story with Ribhu and Nigada. Nigada? His disciple Nigada? See if I can find it. I want to read it. Oh, it's really small. The story of Ribhu. This is a lovely story told by Ramana Maharishi when a visitor asked him to explain. Okay. A Puranic story of sage Ribhu and his disciple Nigada is particularly instructive. Although Ribhu taught his disciple the supreme truth of the one Brahman without a second, Nigada, in spite of his erudite understanding, did not get sufficient conviction to adopt and follow the path of Jnana, but settled down in his native town to lead a life devoted to the observance of ceremonial religion. But the sage loved his disciple as deeply as the latter venerated his master. In spite of his age, Ribhu would himself go to his disciple in the town just to see how far the latter had outgrown his ritualism. At times, the sage went in disguise that he might observe how Nidaga would act when he did not know he was being observed by his master. On one such occasion, Ribhu, who had put on the disguise of a village rustic, found Nidaga intently watching a royal procession. Unrecognized by the town dweller Nidaga, the village rustic inquired what the bustle was all about and was told the king was going in procession. Oh, it is a king. He goes in procession. But where is he? Asked the rustic. There on the elephant, said Nidaga. You say the king is on the elephant? Yes, I see the two, said the rustic. But which is the king and which is the elephant? What? What? Exclaimed Nidaga. You see the two, but you do not know the man above is the king and the animal below is the elephant? What is the use of talking to a man like you? Pray, be not impatient with an ignorant man like me, begged the rustic. But you said above and below. What do they mean? Nidaga could stand it no more. You see the king and the elephant, the one above and the other below. Yet you want to know what is meant by above and below, burst out Nidaga. If things seen and words spoken can convey so little to you, action alone can teach you. Bend forward and you will know it all too well. The rustic did as he was told. Nidaga caught on his shoulders and said, Know it now. I am above as the king. You are below as the elephant. Is that clear enough? No, not yet, was the rustic's quiet reply. You say you are above like the king, and I am below like the elephant. The king, the elephant, above and below. So far it is clear. But pray, tell me, what do you mean by I and you? When Nidaga was thus confronted, all of a sudden, with the mighty problem of defining you apart from an I, light dawned on his mind. At once he jumped down and fell at his master's feet, saying, Who else but my venerable master Ribhu could have thus drawn my mind from the superficialities of physical existence to the true being of the self? O benign master, I crave thy blessings. Beautiful. Nice, no? You heard it before this?
Yeah.
So the I itself What is known about it? Huh?
Stories.
Some stories.
Misinformation.
Misinformation.
That's the only hint given. Neti, neti. Everything.
That is more than enough. She says the only hint given is niti niti.
Asti, asti. It's all
Not
neti,
this,
neti.
not this. You see? Not this, not this. It's more than enough. Do you have to rest on a conclusion?
Feels good. Comfortable.
To rest on a conclusion?
To have,
Yes, I see what you mean there. Because it can feel a bit wobbly to not have one.
yeah.
You see? But if I invite you there to the wobbliness, will you come with me?
I have a choice.
Suppose you did. Come away from your certainties to this seeming wobbliness. How big is the wobble? Don't fear it. Let all conclusions pass by. Like somebody else's bag on a conveyor belt. Just like that. Somebody else's bag on the conveyor belt. All going.
It's like going in the train and putting the luggage on your head.
Yes, yes, that's what we've been doing.
Yeah.
Carrying our burdens, carrying our conclusions. Even sitting in satsang, some of us are listening a lot to what the mind is saying, a little bit to what this voice is saying. Others are listening half and half to what the mind is saying and this voice is saying. And some are listening more to what this voice is saying, and little to what the mind is saying. You see? And that, if you're in this kind of dual relationship, it can feel a bit painful, you see? Because you get pulled, it's like your hand being pulled from both sides, trying to manage, juggle both. And both sides want you fully. Just like, no, leave the other one. Both sides are saying, leave the other one. It's no good for you. You see, the mind is saying, leave this one. He's no good for you. This one is saying, leave the mind. It's no good for you. You see, this is the only seeming choice. You say, I can do it. I can manage both of you.
What I feel is, I can try this, be in a state of I don't know, and allow whatever comes.
Yeah.
And watch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, but don't start the I don't know by knowing so much. You see what I mean? Because I'm going to leave myself undefined. You see? You're defining that. You see? Just like, that's why I was saying, innocence of a child. A child is not saying, now I'm just going to be natural. You see? So, it is not about taking a position. I know it's a bit frustrating. It's like, not this also, not that also. Just let go of any position taking. Don't take any position, including the one of not taking a position. It is not as weird as it sounds, or as impossible as it sounds. It's how you are now, before you start thinking about it. This don't conclude anything that you're going to say, you're going to do, you're not going to say, not going to do. Don't rest on any conclusion. Don't take on any position to be the truth. Then what happened?
You tell us.
It's a bit, it can seem a bit strange. It doesn't have to. You see, for some it can immediately feel very okay. You see, some it can feel a bit strange, but what's going on? You see, I don't know. Is this freedom? You see, this kind of thing. But let this get released out of you, you see. You got so used to living with conditions that living openly seems a bit too much.
Not allowed even.
Huh? Not allowed.
Yeah, it's like that. Oh, you shouldn't be like that.
Yeah, it shouldn't be like that, because that is just crazy or lazy or something. You see. But also, it makes that this and that. You see, in that also you shouldn't be like that. It's trying to define how you are, but you're not being anyway. Leave yourself undefined. Even all the fancy stuff, that will not help you. Just words. Leave yourself undefined. Because even in the highest notion, you see, even in the highest notion is the I thought. And it's just a thought, just a notion. Don't fear the fear.
So should you believe the mind or never believe? The mind is the one saying, I'm your best friend.
The mind is saying I'm your best friend. You just let it go like bags, somebody else's bags on the conveyor belt. Don't fight it, don't accept it. No acceptance or renunciation, neither way. You see? Now, the mind will be offering you conclusions about what that means. You see? But then but don't rest on those. Let them also come and go. You see? It's a simple switch. You see? But for the mind, it's an impossible switch. Because the mind will keep saying, is it on or off? You see? Or then will say, okay, what he's saying is about the middle, neither on or. But I'm not saying any of that. It is not fathomable, computable. All good?
Yes.
All these ideas, then you will see through them. I, you. I and you is just like A and B. What is the difference between A and B? Nothing? Huh?
Sorry.
It's the same difference between you and I. We feel like we come into spirituality to make a master conclusion about ourselves, which is that I am free, or I am God, or I am something like that. I am the self. You see? But in spirituality, you're truly seeing that the whole game is a fraud. You see? All these conclusions are just fraud. If it is only conceptual, there is no difference between the concept I am the ego versus the concept I am God. If it is just conceptual. So forget these words. Forget all your conclusions. Forget your positions, notions. Don't try to figure out how you must be now. Behind all your conclusions, the thief is there, you see. The thief is there. I mean, hidden in all of them. Sometimes posing as the policeman, the thief is there. It's just a thought. Just a thought. Now, still concluding? When you are empty of conclusions, we can conclude satsang. That is one conclusion we can make.
Attached to the concepts, lovingly put together all the years.
Yes, this is the thing, lovingly
Paras-
collected.
Yeah,
Lovingly
yeah,
collected.
To dismantle it.
Yes. This is the thing. The collection was happening for what? For what purpose?
Follow the crowd.
Follow the crowd. Many times it's when we speak of especially the spiritual concepts, you see, we are collecting them so that we can come to the truth. You see? But the truth is simpler than any concept. So we might feel like it's a treasure that we have, but actually it is clouding the treasure in a way, not really. And many times in satsang, our mind itself starts playing the role of Advaita policeman. It feels free to sell you all this desire, duality, doership, you see. But once it hears somebody saying, especially the master saying, but drop this, drop that, then it'll say, become very Advaita and say, but who's there to drop? You see? You see? So this is the mind's version of Advaita policeman. So any conclusions that you still feel are real? One. What is it?
You're special.
You're special. Just a thought. What else? Concepts you believe to be real, all gone?
There are too many to sum them up now.
Let's go one by one. How many you got?
See, don't touch fire. That is a
Don't touch fire.
fire. That is
And
there.
touch fire?
Touch fire. No. That is not.
Touch fire also concept, don't touch fire also concept.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
I don't think I can leave that.
Huh? Okay, that's the only one you want?
I mean, there are
You
so
can
many
keep
like
don't
that.
touch fire. Then what else?
Many like that may be there.
Like? Many like that maybe there, you want to keep that?
I don't know. If it is like that,
Yeah, we don't know. No?
I don't
Let's look like even she said that. Because this is a conclusion that we are buying, that there are too many
I
to
don't know.
enumerate.
I don't know.
Then you start counting.
And also there is a habit,
Yeah.
habit of splitless second it happens. So,
This also we know. So don't touch fire and it happens in a split second. You want these two? How many you want? Okay, let's put it there. How
I
many?
don't know. I don't
It's
know.
endless.
It's not endless. That's a concept. Let's go. Let's go. Give me
That's
10
one
in.
concept
Give
already.
me,
It's endless.
give me 10 in like 1 minute. Let's go.
I'm tired. I'm
One.
hungry. I have endless concepts.
3,
I love you.
4.
God, there's a camera. Food will come soon.
Now you're looking at stuff. We're talking about concepts that you feel like you're holding on to that you can't let go of. I don't feel
They're
like
all
it's
like,
there's
in
a
every
camera.
moment, those are the concepts I'm holding on to because I feel like the world's functioning like this. So in every
So this
moment-
5, okay, I'll take that one. This is how I'm functioning. 5, okay.
in- and I'm way too tired even to figure that out now.
6. Not bad. Come on, almost there.
No,
Time is
you're
up.
just fooling me, I know that. This joke account.
7. She could actually win at this game. You'll be the first winner at any game I've invented. Usually designed to fail, but that was just a concept I saw. Why you have to believe all of this?
Because the world seems to function like this, so we have those concepts. To
So you can't let go of this notion that the world functions like this. Is this the primary one?
The thing is, then you have to kind of let go of the world in this moment. Then you let go of all the concepts. Like,
So what? Why you want to hold on to the world? Wait, this might be actually insightful. Because it's true, you let go of notions of the world and you let go of the world. Why you don't want to let go of the world? You see, you really let go of the world in the sense that you will not be able to call world. It's just a thought. I used to get very confused when Bhagavan or Maharaj used to say that everything that you see is just a thought. All objects are just thought. Like that. I used to get very confused. Then I see that it is the notion which seems to be keeping them that way. You see? Keeping some apparent world there. So why you have to hold on to the world?
it's like when you're in Satsang, you're like in two different. I don't know what to call. So you're in the world, like this, and then when you invite us to look deeper, there's also something like where all the world seems not as fixed as we think, you know?
Exactly.
So, but then it's
So then we cannot be certain about it.
no,
Even this that we are in both can't be certain.
but it appears like this.
Appears. Now if you are happy to just stay with how everything appears, you see, then no investigation is needed. You see? The path of inquiry, the path of looking is just to see, okay, so are things really as they appear? You see? Or even are things really as we are concluding them to be?
It's just a key.
Again, please.
Yeah. So let's look at this. You say that when we are in satsang, it appears as if we are in both places. Like we are in the world and also we are at a place which is undefinable or unlocatable. You see? Now, which one is that which is in both?
That's the.
Is it? So are we happy to rest on that conclusion? Is it? That okay, in satsang it feels like I'm both, and when I'm in the world I'm just in the world, and then when I'm in meditation or something, I'm just outside though. This kind of thing. Are we happy at there? And if you are, that's fine too. But I'm just saying that that at best is like a pit stop. No, it's just like a short stop where you feel like okay. But you see, I'm pushing you beyond like this and saying, can we really say any of this? Is there an idea that it's bad not to know? Like it's stupid or
It's more a habit, knowing, grasping.
just
No, I'm not able to let go of the notion of enlightenment.
yes. Because how many years you've nurtured it?
Veteran.
Huh? Multiple lifetimes, huh? What did you say? Veteran Veteran enlightenment notion you have. Is it? Okay, what else?
Nothing
I'll give you
attached.
3.
No, one is there.
Okay, done. Fine. You can keep it. That's fine.
don't
Because
do
I
anything
feel
else,
I feel like more burdensome in your this report was not the notion of enlightenment itself, but because the notion that you can't let go of it. More burdensome in your case seemed as if it was the notion that I can't let go of the notion of enlightenment was causing more
let go of
burden.
it, it's not
Exactly.
happening.
Yeah, but you then have the notion I can't let go
Yeah.
of the notion of enlightenment. So you keep the notion of enlightenment. You don't have to worry about letting
Then
go
you
of that.
chase it, right?
No, that's a new notion. You said you want to. That's why I said how many you want. You said 1. Okay, enlightenment is a notion. There is a thing called enlightenment. Okay, it's like I have one notion which is chocolate. Everything else is thought, but chocolate is
It's
chocolate.
not that.
No, chocolate is chocolate. Everything else is mine.
But then when I don't let go of it, then the secondary concept comes. You know,
This is notion or no? Keep the enlightenment, hug it. See, enlightenment is here. Okay? The notion, enlightenment, freedom, enlightenment. Now, you said you want only 1.
They're all children.
All of enlightenment children also you want.
It doesn't look so sticky as enlightenment, seriously.
Which one?
Yeah, children.
No, she's saying all these other
All these
notions are just children.
Yeah,
of
then
enlightenment.
once you pick up this, then connected concepts.
Suppose you
also.
didn't know this also. You wanted 1 notion, you got it.
No, then there are 2.
Which is second is
First is the notion of enlightenment.
Okay.
Second is I'm not
not enlightened.
enlightened.
Okay. Both you can keep. Then third you'll want, but I want it. Okay, so 1, the notion of enlightenment. Second, that you haven't got it. Third, that you want it. That's it.
Fourth, how do I get it?
The fourth is
How do I get it?
how do I get it? Okay.
Then dropping all these.
Okay, 4 you want. No, got.
Well, finally, even this one also.
Which one?
How do I drop all this?
Oh, get it also, drop it also.
Drop all these 4 notions.
You have these 4.
Ah.
You've got license to keep them.
Okay, this 4 is enough now.
Now,
No, nothing.
okay, all of you are getting. So she got 4. How many you want? But we're making pakka deal, okay now? Pakka deal means like a proper deal. So that 1 notion you want. Okay, 1 notion is I don't want any notion. That's the one you want to keep. Okay, deal. Done.
I want to be free.
2. These 2. I don't want any notion, then I want to be free. So let's put the first one first,
Okay.
which is I want to be free. Because if you say the other one, I don't want any notion, then obviously you don't want. I don't want to be free also is, or I want to be free also is a notion.
Fair enough. We'll keep the second one first.
I want to be free, and then I don't want any other notion. 2. Done?
If I say I don't want any notions, will you take out all the notions?
So you want
I
that
don't want any
notion,
notions.
first you have to say how many you want.
No. You are allowing us to keep some.
Yeah.
I don't want any notions. Please take away all the notions. That's on your side.
Yeah, it's a deal.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
So you want that one notion, I don't want any notions.
No, I don't want to keep. I want you to take out all the notions I have.
So you want one notion, which is I want you to keep or take all the
I want
notions.
you to take out all the notions.
Yeah, so that's the one notion you want.
Yes.
Okay. Fine. That one you can keep.
Okay.
Vandana wants how many notions?
Well, I also don't want notions. I want to be free from those.
That's the only notion you want?
I don't know. There can be many others, but this is.
There can be many others is 2.
But this is the main thing. No, this is the thing that will free us
No,
from
we're
everything.
not saying
else.
main and secondary. Just like, give me the full list now. We're making final list. It is the last Satsang support. We're signing the final contract. I'm expecting Guru Dakshina after this. But you just sign, okay, this is the final
Worldly
contract.
things are like you don't want to suffer. No, so this is why
Don't
you
want
don't
to
want
suffer
notions.
is,
This is why
so-
you don't want notions, because you want to be free from suffering.
Okay, so you want to keep that as one big notion, or you want it like 2, 3? I don't want to suffer. Then I don't want any notions because I don't want to suffer. These 2 notions you want.
Yeah,
That's it, no?
yeah, that is good.
Pakka.
I think.
We're signing the contract.
I think that is enough. I think.
Okay,
I want
good.
the same. That's a good one. I want the same. That's a good one.
Which one?
Yes, she signed a good contract.
Which?
I think this. I don't want
See,
any
you have
notion.
to
I don't
say.
want to suffer.
I don't want any notion, I don't want to suffer. These 2 notions you want to keep. Okay. Nitin, what all you want? How many in your contract?
I don't want to be afraid.
Don't want to be afraid is one notion. Okay.
I want clear understanding.
I want clear understanding. 2. That's it?
Yeah.
Signed?
Yeah.
Sealed? Okay. You should write these down somewhere.
We transcribe them.
Okay. So Tejas is correcting me, saying last satsang is one notion. Yes, just a thought. Drishti, you want how many?
List is like running through the head.
List is running through, you want all of it?
You choose for me.
You choose for me is one notion you want. Then that's it. You choose the notion that should keep. Only notion. Done. Pakka. Sign. Done. I choose none. It's already signed. Jyoti.
Two opposites. I want to have peace, like
Okay.
Ramana.
Like Ramana. Not messing around now. This is the final
I'm
contract.
the opposite. I want to be in the world too.
I want peace like Ramana, but be in the world too. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Being in the world involves any other notions or no?
Well, he led like a hermit life.
Yeah.
I would
You want
like
to be, so you want to be the householder version of Ramana.
Yeah, like a normal person or whatever.
Yeah, normal person version of Bhagwan. that's another notion. You want to keep that
Yeah, being like Ramana in disguise.
You want to be Ramana in disguise. Then that's the one notion.
Yeah, that's the one.
What about you, Pankaj?
Just one. Guru Kripa Kevalam.
Guru Kripa Kevalam is the one notion. Then deal. No contract signed. No notion.
No notion.
No notion. It's not a notion.
No, but this one there's a but, like no notion but absolute clarity.
No notion, but absolute clarity.
Yeah, just no notion.
So one notion you want, absolute clarity. Because absolute clarity is just a notion.
Because if the because is, I truly don't understand what emotion is. You know, I mean, I can't.
It's a thought. It's just a concept.
Okay, so if I say it's a thought,
Yeah.
if I say it's
Yeah.
a thought,
Yeah.
so you are stupid, it's a thought.
Yeah.
I'm whatever is a thought,
Yeah.
and that is going to be calling a notion
Yeah.
or a collection of whatever. Right?
Any concept. Anything which can be conceptualized is a notion.
With the belief.
So then I want clarity is also a notion. I mean,
Yeah.
if I say anything that I want or don't want,
Yeah,
would
that's
be a
why we're
notion.
counting. Exactly.
Right?
That you feel like you cannot let go of. You want the license to keep it.
Nothing. I don't know.
You don't want anything. Including the not holding on to the notion, I don't want it, right?
Yeah.
What's the contract?
At your feet.
At your feet is the one notion you want. What about online? Send your list. You picking up new ones?
No.
I have no idea what contract you just got signed.
You said that all the notions I should keep are the one that you choose. You wanted that one notion. I chose and said none. Is it? No notions I want to keep, even though some feel they will keep me. No notions I want to keep, even though some feel they will keep me, but I won't believe them. Okay, no notions. Let thy will be done. One notion you want to keep. I want to keep no plot spoilers. Okay, one. Just asking for one, max 2, 3. You're gonna have very simple lives after this. Just having some experience. When cigarette smokes itself, it does not know where the smoke flies. And first you have to say how many notions you want. You have maximum license for 3. Then next one is the moment is my best friend. Okay, this notion you want to keep one. Abide in the non-phenomenal while playing phenomenally. You have a twin brother.
Yeah.
One notion, sign. You have killed the thought factory, father. That one you want, only that one? You have killed the thought factory? There's space here.
No, it's fine.
So whatever now you're thinking and believing, you better be in your list. Not outside. And those who have no list are in big trouble. So one notion you want is silence is enough. Only one. Silence is enough. Not even that. Okay. Not even that. Okay. No list then. What did this one say? What did you say? How many you wanted?
A lot, actually.
How many you say? If this was the deal we're making now, then Father, these I can't do without. These I really want. Like you're going on a camping trip, and you're like, I want to keep my iPhone in my bag, my iPad in my bag. Everything. You feel like you need it there.
I still believe I'm this one and I don't want this belief. So it's two notions.
I
The
believe that
opposite.
I am this body mind, and second is that I don't want this belief. Both are notions, no? So you want to keep these, or the first one you don't.
Naturally they're there. I don't know, naturally. They're there.
Where?
Here.
Where are they naturally? If it's natural, it must naturally be here, no? Where is it?
There's some things which are not in this perceptual realm.
Oh, I see. What is that?
My thoughts.
The thoughts are not in your perceptual realm.
Yours, maybe. Sometimes, maybe, yes.
You don't perceive your thoughts.
Yeah, but you don't always.
Huh?
So it's their more
What?
private. Anyways,
What
it's
is
like,
it?
of course, it feels like, yeah, I'm God. I'm a bit tired today, so it's a bit difficult to
Yeah.
articulate. But,
That's a good time actually.
oh. Everything
What is the game is simple. What are the thoughts, concepts that you feel like you can't do without? And today I'm in a good mood, so I'm giving you license for you to hold on to some of them. Now, how many you want?
The question is not how many I want, but it's really like which are there always, like which do.
No, that's not the
I
question.
believe, no.
I'm deciding the game.
Really?
Which is the game is what are the ones that I want to take because I feel like I can't do without them.
But even for this, I have to pick up a notion first.
Yeah,
I can't do
yeah,
without that.
yeah.
So it's like.
Which is the notion that you have to pick up?
There's no such notion which is always there, like constantly. Somehow it's always changing the notions that are there.
Each you want that approval from me.
No, it's
please,
just-
please, please.
I don't know. I'm
It's
just.
just a thought.
Yeah, so tired, Father. I just can't even think.
Okay.
Like, this is really even too much. I don't even follow this conversation anymore.
Okay, today you rest, then tomorrow we'll make our contract.
Tomorrow is Wednesday.
Tomorrow, what is tomorrow? What a notion. Sharanya is feeling okay to have this contract or no?
Yeah.
What the notions you want?
One. Only one.
Okay.
Everything is God.
Everything is God. That's the notion you want to keep. That's it. Nobody else wants any notions to hold on to? Last chance. Except for going once. All the rest is gone. Gone twice. Gone. Window is closed. Now you can only believe these which are approved in your list. Thank you all so much for being in Satsang today. Sadguru Shri Muji Baba ki Jai.
Sadguru Shri Ananta Ji ki Jai.
Guru Kripa Kiran. Father, all through your notion demolition satsang. Good. I like this notion demolition satsang. And a lot has come up. Thank you. And that there are no notions to be found that were wanted or needed to be kept.